Right. Okay. Employability to ability. I was thinking why I chose this topic. The ability is individual perspective. I'm an individual. I have certain set of abilities. I walk into an institution. It could be any institution. I'm not going to grade them A, B, C, but any institution. The opportunity that will come from the institution has to be the employability. Now, the transformation has to happen from an individual's ability to institution employability. If you're able to bridge this, I would call that as a true collusion or the true bridge that institutions and individuals are making and making it truly employable. And you should challenge yourself how many of your institutions are truly doing it. It's not just saying we have 100% placement, but truly how you have made every individual that stepping into your institutions and you made them employable. And definitely, I also want to talk about the talent capital. I'm calling Tamil Nadu will be the talent capital because of the humongous amount of the talent that will be available in the market. Let's take a brief view about the overall IT industry because predominantly talking about the industry is our information technology. Today, as a country perspective, we are closer to $220 billion worth of exports that is happening from our country. It's an amazing amount of effort that happened in the last 3 decades. If I put back into what is happening from a state perspective, we are very closer to a $21 billion, 9.5%, 10% range. What is that? We are contributing from the state to the center. Now, from an employee base aspect, where are we today? We are actually roughly around 7 lakh employee base, whereas if we talk from an overall country perspective, that is around 50 lakh. That is the overall base of ITES. Now, this is the vision that we have set from a council point of view. So today we are $21 billion. Now, if we have to move to that $100 billion by 2030 as a vision set by Honorable Minister for Information Technology and Digital Services, and the larger vision of $1 trillion set by our Honorable Chief Minister. So this 10% contribution is going to be very significant and it's not easy to achieve. You need to note the point because we are growing sequentially as a CAGR of 10% year on year. Now, if we have to grow to that 100 billion by 2030, we have to grow at a CAGR of 19.5%, which is nearly double the percentage of growth that we need to go through. So to achieve that level of the growth, we have actually devised certain mechanisms. I will cover at a high level perspective and also talk about little nuances about from an employee base and the role of academicians and institutions that you will be playing in this journey of $100 billion. So today, from state perspective, we are 7 lakh employee base. So 700,000 ITES professionals are working in Tamil Nadu, inside Tamil Nadu, right? Now, if I have to go by the next 5 years or 4 years, based on a lot of industry predictions that we have seen, there is a huge possibility that this can grow to a 1.5 million to 1.8 million, which is like from a 7 lakh employee base, we can grow to a 15 to 18 lakh employee base because of the acceleration that is happening in the tech industry. And we call that as more of a decade, the technology and this decade, what we are talking about. Now, if you have to truly achieve the 100 billion mark, we need 25 lakh ITES employee base in the state. That gives each one of us here an opportunity to create the employment for your institutions, which means the gap is 18 lakh. So roughly, if you talk about our graduates that is coming out, so STEM graduates in India, it's around 2.14 million. That is the overall India per se. But if you consider in Tamil Nadu alone, we have closer to 4 lakh graduates are coming out, which is roughly around 20%. So in that 4 lakh, if we're able to make at least 70% as an employability. That will bring us to 2 to 2.5 lakh. And if I put 10 years or next 8 years, that will easily take us into a range of 2 million, which is 20 lakh, right? This is the opportunity that we have. And the growth that we see in the digital skills, primarily, it is actually in the 3x range. Because today, we are 1.3 million. That is the range of digital skills present in the country. Now, that is going to grow to 3.9 million in the next 4 years. And subsequently, that may double by 2030. So, see the gap and the opportunity, right? We have 20% of the STEM graduates coming from the state, and the opportunity is about 25 lakh. And every year, if you make 2.5 lakh employable, and that gap can be filled, and if you're filling that gap, eventually, we are achieving that $100 billion, the overall vision that is set from the state government of Tamil Nadu. And this is possible. Definitely, this is possible, and I will talk about, how this is possible. So that is a $100 billion market that what we are all visioning to achieve. And what are the growth areas which we have identified? Definitely the first growth area is the ITES, which is already there, right? So which will definitely further expand based on the need. But there are some new growth areas that is actually budding up. Global capability centers. The global capability center means a company in the US or UK, they have their extended arm set up in the state. Many of you may not know, we have 220 global capability centers are set up in Tamil Nadu. For the matter, 2 days back, Honorable Minister went and opened another global capability center, AT&T. They were setting up a center here, and there were multiple GCCs are getting opened up in the last 6 months. So that is another growth area. Now, data centers. Now, Tamil Nadu has become the second largest data center in the country. And already there are sizable numbers of data centers being set up in the ecosystem because they see Tamil Nadu has that infrastructure and the potential to grow the data center. And the fourth area is primarily, talk about the tech startups. And I'm sure if you're all watching, the startup ecosystem in the Tamil Nadu in the last 1 year has completely, kind of taken a different paradigm shift. Even in the ranking, state level ranking and the India level ranking, we have actually gone to the different level. So there is a lot of opportunity in the tech startup ecosystem that is getting generated. And this is a very important one. No one has touched it. This is a green field area that Tamil Nadu has the potential to scale this market. And this market is what the ITES have seen 40 years back. ITES, when they start 40 years back, they started this outsourcing component. That is where we started. Then we became a research and development product, and there are a lot of good growth has happened. Similarly, we are anticipating and we are predicting that there will be a creative process outsourcing that is going to happen. And from a state perspective, we have so much talent available on the creative side. It could be a rendering, it could be a video editing, it could be a design work. There are amazing amount of activities that is happening in the globe, and there is a need for a talent to meet those demands. And we are seeing that creative services is an area and a significant potential that has for us. And we are also anticipating this industry alone will become a $10 to $20 billion from very nascent stage what we have today. And of course, the SaaS. SaaS is, we call proudly that as the capital of India today. And definitely there are a lot of opportunities that is getting scaled up on the SaaS products and a solution area. So these are the 6 key growth areas, realistic, practically that possible growth areas we have identified and potential to grow and elevate to that 100 billion target that we aspire to achieve by 2030. Now, it's an interesting thing, I just picked this from the McKinsey. They have predicted these are the top 10 technology trends that is shaping the world or that will shape the world in next 10 years. A lot of speakers talks about AI, machine learning, IoT, blockchain. For me, those are 5 years back. They are being in the line, companies are working, roles are created, and a lot of companies start adapting. I could have been excited when these were spoke about 5 years back. But today, we need to talk about what is going to happen in the next 10 years. We need to prepare our students on these lines so that when they come out of the graduation, this technology will take into a shape and opportunities will get created. So some of the things, quickly I want to talk about. The RPA is getting more into the next level. Future of connectivity, 5G, IoT connectivity, cloud and edge computing, quantum computing, neuromorphic chips, right? It is about the integration systems of your nervous mindset and the system, right? So that is the level of thought process that is getting in. That is the level of technological advancement that is happening in the market, and we anticipate this will grow. Applied artificial intelligence and future of programming, software 2.0. Today, a development of a software takes a set amount of time. In 2.0, it is like instant because it is not going to be done by an individual. Instead, the software development will be done by machines. So you input your requirements and set a time limit. Based on that, you have the application ready, right? And these are all happening already. The low-code, no-code strategy is one element to it, but there are a lot of opportunities that is getting built. And zero trust, security, and blockchain. And again, few interesting components I want to talk about here is the bio-revolution that is happening. People are missing this big area because that is another amazing opportunity that is entailing in the global. And we as a state, there's a greater opportunity for us to take advantage of it. Bio-machines, nanomaterials, graphene, 2D materials, molybdenum, disulfide nanoparticles. It may sound different, but these are the technological advancement that is set forth to happen in next 10 years. Nuclear fusion, smart distribution, again, battery storage, carbon neutral energy generations. Quickly, let's see, how these are actually will make an impact. It may look good in theory, but what impact that is going to make? Very clearly says that up to 80% of the global population be reached by the 5G by 2030. The distributed infrastructure, which is like 75% of the enterprise generated data will be processed by edge or cloud by 2025, which is another 3 years, right? And very clearly you can see the future of programming that will be like a 30x of the growth or the reduction in the working time. This is a significant time, right? Which is very clearly say that if we have to do a software development in a 30-day period, this can be enabled you to do in a single day. That is a 30x reduction in the working time required for a software development analytics. And same thing happens on the bio-revolution as well. And where this is applied, so this is a cross-functional. And Honorable Minister in the morning in his session, he was talking about technology is not centered into one area. Technology is a multi-dimensional, it's cut across all domains and all industries. So you could see all these predictions, whatever the top 10 trends, very well aligned to all those sectors. If you talk about the Industry 4.0, it has a greater impact. If you talk about the mobility sector, electrical vehicle connectivity, that is going to shape the next economy of the country as well as the global. Because what people are predicting, whoever is going to faster adapt on this mobility and electrical vehicle and the 5G, their economy is going to double in a scale of, the massive speed and other enabling sectors. So these are quickly, some of those technology trends I thought of, giving some insights to you. And possibly, if we have to talk about quickly the employability challenges that we have, because I started with saying that the ability versus employability. The ability is the individual that brings it into the knowledge. The employability is the institution that enable an individual making employable or getting the employment. Now, as an individual, take myself, I'm learning. I come with an ability into your institution, I'm learning. I have two things. One is a skill, which is primarily you will teach me what I learn. Second is a knowledge, which is purely based on my human skill, how I apply myself. And that is could be based on the mindset, based on the exposure, based on my intelligent quotient, emotional quotient. They call a new thing is AQ, adaptability quotient. All that parameters comes in. Now, the other two key elements, which is like the foundational and accelerators. This is where I want each one of you to take a clear attention of this, because predominantly today, this has become a mission life. You know what? You put your ingredients into the input into the machine, You set, this is how you want to do it, switch on a machine, it will funnel through it, and you'll get the outcome, right? That is what it is happening because everybody believes that if we do a training on AI, if I do a training on machine learning, if I do a training on data science, the people will get job. I can tell you, there are 100 people going for a training. Fairly, 10 to 15% are able to get the job. Why other 85% people who have gone through the same set of trainings through any institutions, why they are not able to get a job? What is missing? The missing element, which is very important, is the foundation. The foundation is what is the missing element. We are not focusing on the active learning, the problem solving, the analytical and critical thinking, tolerance, flexibility, the originality and creativity. These are the missing elements. You know, based on my 20 years in the industry, I could clearly call out if an institution, you put a center of excellence on foundational skills. You put a center of excellence on human skills. These are essential because you teach me the human skills and the foundational skills. I may have an aspiration to be a data scientist. I have multiple avenues to learn. You don't need to teach me. That is my interest, I will go and learn. Then I will become an expertise to that. The moment I become an expertise to that, what will actually eventually make me is, make me a star in that particular field. Eventually that will make me get the job. This is what today I just want to summarize, saying that the foundation is cracking. No one is focusing on the foundation. You go back 20 years back, same challenge every employer will give you. An employer will say that, why I was not able to hire so much of people in your college? The employer will say, the number one reason is the communication issue. Your people are not able to comprehend. Your people are not able to give a proper reasoning, right? People are not able to solve whatever it is. What is these? These are the foundational skills. That is what is getting missed, right? An employer is not saying that your people are lagging in data science skills, your people are lagging in DevSecOps skills. They are not talking about the technicality. They are talking about the foundational skills. That is what I want to sum it up in saying, what challenge we had 20 years back, even today it exists because the institutions, academicians, and all the training organizations, they lack the focus on the foundational skills and they focus heavily on the accelerators. That is what is causing the major problem. So I would leave my submission note to all of you, say that focus on the foundation. The acceleration is the individual with his or her ability will definitely enable and definitely he or she will get a job. And again, the plane will only take off when they have a good runway. You have to only create the runway. No, you don't need to create the plane. People will create the plane. As an institution, academicians, your job is to create a leveled runway which will enable every student and individuals, to drive their plane. You can't control their speed or agility. It is again left to those individuals. Create the platform, create the runway for your students.